Hey everyone, it's Bargain Boy reviewing bargain bin games to tell you whether they're cool or lame. It's been a long time, but now I'm back doing what I do. A lot of you may have been wondering what I've been doing with my time as I've been away for so long, and, well, people get stuck in a rut sometimes, you know? You gotta find yourself deep within you. You have to try out new things, you have to escape from hellish dungeons inside your mind. I don't know, I mean, it's not like all of those fully happened to me is what I'm saying. It's just that, you know, well, to be honest, I don't really know anything really did happen. I mean, it's just some friends came over, stuff happened. I don't know. It was just weird. It wasn't important, really. But either way, I can say that I found myself, and I feel spectacular. So anyway, I'm gonna bore you talking about sports games for the next half hour. Okay, look, for those of you who enjoy playing sports games, I'm sorry. I know you enjoy them, and yeah, they can be fun, they can be enjoyable. I mean, I play the odd sports games here and there, but come on, let's face it, sports games are just fodder. Honestly, there's an incredible amount of sports games that become more and more useless every year, leaving you with a veritable pile of unused games you don't play anymore because, well, they became instantly outdated. Sports games are literally what make up most of the bargain bin, and you'll find stuff that came out 3 years ago at $1 or $2. I mean, there are exceptions, of course, but you can't deny that the game that you just bought $80 for this year will cost you $20 next year. And yeah, you might be thinking, well, duh, right? Of course a game's gonna drop in price right after release, that's the natural way of things. We're no strangers to yearly releases. But let me throw this right out there. Black Ops 2 is still at a fairly high price than FIFA 13 is, and they both came out at exactly the same year. Look, what I'm getting at here is that the sports games are different than your regular yearly releases. I mean, let me talk about the games, though. I'll be honest, I enjoy a good game of FIFA once in a while. Hell, sometimes I even play NHL 2003. I admit that sports games aren't really my thing, and there's a desire to play with your updated roster as well as some other neat features. And I know that there are people out there that'll buy a console just to play sports games, and, well, I mean, you're still playing a game. I mean, it's not like you're just using it for Netflix or something. I mean, it's just, who does that? I mean, my main beef with sports games is that, to me, video games in general always felt like some kind of gateway to another reality. To be so many different things and do such crazy out-of-this-world crap that I can't do in real life. You know, like visiting a city in the clouds, be a detective in the 40s, fight guys as death himself, or go on mass murderous rampages. Well, I mean, with no real-life consequences, of course, but because, I mean, like, well, hey, if I put my heart into it, I mean, I guess I could. But the deal with sports games is that I personally can just go outside and do that, you know? I can go find a nice dandy spot and kick a ball all day. Now, doesn't that sound like fun? Look, what I want to get at with this entire rant is that the typical sports game doesn't do a whole lot in terms of creativity, and you're pretty much limited to real-life stuff and not venturing out of reality. And then comes this game, ready to break your expectations by breaking your face, aptly titled Facebreaker. While not exactly treading new ground and doing a cartoony arcade-style boxing game, Facebreaker does manage to get a style of its own. It was released in the fall of 2008, developed by EA Sports Freestyle. Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
EA Sports Freestyle.
And you might be thinking, hey, wait a minute, isn't there already another branch of EA Sports that does crazy different sports games? Oh yeah, you mean
EA Sports.
Yeah, the dudes are mostly known for their street and hella good SSX games. Well, no, this is Freestyle's first and apparently last game they ever made. Seriously, the name never comes up again. I wonder why that is. Well, you're in luck, because you're on the Bargain Boy Show. It's Boxing Day, so it's time to review Facebreaker for the Xbox 360. Fucking shit, I can't do anything with you people! So you might think that a boxing game made by EA would go along the same vein as something like the Fight Night games. Well, let me tell you, you are right! In an alternate universe, but here, in the real world, you are very wrong. It is as far away from Fight Night as you can possibly expect. Where Fight Night is a game about being slow, tactful, and discourages button mashing, Facebreaker is... well, the absolute opposite. Now, personally, Fight Night has always been my favorite sports game out of the EA Sports bunch, though I guess I shouldn't have come into Facebreaker thinking that it would follow the same kind of structure. It's tailored for a more arcade fighting style, as I mentioned before, using the face buttons as your two primary low and high attacks, a haymaker, grab, and a dash. The key to the gameplay is to have the upper hand with your combos the whole time, not letting your opponent touch you and keeping up with his or her own attacks for your chance to strike back. That's pretty much the gist of it, and it sounds pretty simple, right? I mean, it's just a good little game to just pick up and play, just sit back and just enjoy it, right? I mean, it's a perfectly understandable mindset to have if you want to get your ass rocked and socked. Now, I'm not playing this up. This game is actually really damn tough. You go into it thinking, oh, okay, I'll just play on normal. Yeah, that should be good. Turns out normal is another word for, hey, let's reenact that scene from Raging Bull. So straight up, there's a pretty big learning curve to this game, and you step onto that ring, you'll be given no mercy if you don't know what the hell you're doing. I suggest just trying out a few normal matches or even just hitting up the practice mode before going into something like Brawl for It All. It'll help you get used to the beatings you'll have to endure. There's a variety of colorful characters you can choose from right from the start, so pick out your favorite looking one and get fighting. Like I said before, you'll need to be on the giving end of the combos if you want to win, so you better get good at doing those combos. If you enter combos with a haymaker, you'll end up doing a breaker move, like Bone Breaker, Sky Breaker, or Ground Breaker. Now, you might be thinking, oh, these sound really tactical or something, like it's gonna cancel out the guy's moves, or, I don't know, something cool. No, it's just a cool name for it, really. I guess I gotta keep to the, breaking theme, and not only breaking faces, breaking bones, breaking skies, breaking... Yeah, I wish. Get that out of here, come on. Just putting copyrighted content on my video.
I speak English.
So you understand what asshole means.
I said cut it out already! Anyway, there are two defensive moves you can do, dodging and parrying. Now the latter is hard to pull off, as you've got to be precise when to parry. Now I really suck at doing that, and the game reminds me of that all the time. I found dodging to be a little easier as you only get to hold down the high or low attack button to dodge those specific attacks. This may be something that turns some of you off, but I actually don't mind it. Once you've been thoroughly slapped in the ass by this game, you're gonna get into a rhythm of how it works, trying to keep up your combos and keeping an eye on your opponent for the right moment to dodge and retaliate. Though sometimes you'll be stuck on something like this, which is actually kind of funny. But keeping an eye on your opponent's attack is crucial, especially when you want to finish off that combo with a haymaker for a breaker move, but they can easily jab you out of your strong attack, which is a pain in my goddamn ass, because I've been building up that combo and god son of a frick. This game's AI seems to be majoring in assness, because it really pulls this cheap ass stuff and it just makes you steam up and come on, what is this fucking disappearing shit? Oh, now he's got me in a corner. Okay. Oh. Fuck. Okay, so when you get knocked down, it works more like a traditional fighter as opposed to a boxing match, which is kind of a downer for me. I mean, I would have liked to have seen some kind of mechanic where you gotta pull your fighter back up, maybe pull your face back together after a rough beating and get back out there. Hell, that could have been a little activity to do in the corner. I don't know. I think that should have been a cool idea they could use. I mean, it's a game called Facebreaker. You gotta fix your face. However, their shtick does offer a bit of tactfulness to it. At the third round, it's a match of sudden death, which can prove useful if you can't manage to knock your opponent down 3 times through the match, or if you want to level yourself out with them. On the other hand, you've got to knock them down as quick and hard as you can, because you don't want to give them the same advantage either. Then you'll be complaining that it's actually a stupid thing. I mean, he hasn't knocked me down once this entire fight, or why should I lose because he suddenly got lucky and fucking sudden death and just Like I said, majoring in assness. But hang on a minute. I've been talking for God knows how many minutes without mentioning the biggest thing about the game. I never mentioned the actual face breaking in Facebreaker. When you fill that bar all the way up to the top and you end the combo with a haymaker, you get to do an awesome Facebreaker move and you instantly win the fight. I mean, how am I going to talk about Facebreaker without the actual face breaking? I mean, that's stupid. It's like, I'm the bargain boy. Get ready to review the game you just bought yesterday for $80. Okay, so I laid down how the game works and what you're going to be doing, so let's talk about the Brawl for It All mode here. You want to unlock venues and fighters? This is the fastest way to do it. So this is pretty much like an arcade mode. You go through all the fighters and the bosses at the end are the locked ones. Duh. You beat them, you unlock them, simple as that. Though the beating is the actual interesting part, as you have to find each character has a different tactic to him or her, and a whole lot of bullshit with the bosses. Like this... Okay, alright. That one's actually pretty funny. The different fighting techniques for characters does help in keeping you on your toes, though sometimes I just found it really easy to just mash the high attack button, keeping watch for the dodge, and just keep on punching without ending the combo. I mean, it steadily takes the health off. Granted, that kind of thing doesn't happen all the time, thank goodness, but it could have easily broken the game. So is that all there is to Facebreaker? Well, there's Couch Royale, you know, just simple, basic multiplayer, have fun with your friends. And you wouldn't think of it, but there's a whole lot of stuff you can do that they put for online. Which you can't do because EA shut down their servers. Well, it's in the bargain bin for a reason. I mean, the only thing I wish they could have kept was the ability to download the others' creations online, as well as being able to try out that facial recognition thing. But it needs both a server and an Xbox Vision Cam, which I have neither. Oh well, might as well try out the character customization. I mean, it can't be that. Oh man. Oh man, I'm gonna have fun with this. Oh man. Look at that thing. What have I done? What have I created? Oh my god. Oh man, you gotta love it. You know, it really is a damn shame you can't download other creations. I would have loved to see what other abominations people have made. Well, that and the fact that, as a bargain bin game, this character creation thing isn't really a strong selling point. Because let's look at everything we've got in Facebreaker. Let me start out with the game's strongest feature, and that's its visual style. You can tell that EA Sports Freestyle tried to do something that's their own, with a good amount of variant characters, silly and crazy combos, and cartoony goodness. You see, this is the kind of stuff that I wish people would do more with sports games. You know, just take a sport and look at it and say, okay, how can we have fun with this? I mean, this is why people love games like SSX or the more recent Rocket League. I got a good feeling that this is what the thought was behind the game, trying to make it stand out from your average sports game. However, Facebreaker's gotta be as fun as it is watching it, and opting for an arcade fighter seemed to be the appropriate choice. But dear God, is it punishing to new players? And that's just on normal mode. I don't even want to know what hard feels like, or whatever the hell those other difficulties are. But I mean, if you want to, go right ahead and play them, you masochistic, pain-loving bastard. Now we gotta wrap this up real quick, because I got a thing to film with Mistress Melissa, so can we, hurry this up along, please? So do I recommend Facebreaker? Well, yeah, if you dig it, you'll have a fun time with the game for the price of $5 to $10. In terms of content, I can say that there's a huge amount, especially with the character creator that you're gonna use for a laugh and then never use again, as well as the online mode being defunct. But it can also be a good game to play with your friends, like say you guys wanna play a whole bunch of fighting games, this one can be a good one to play for a few rounds. But if what you've been seeing isn't enough to tide you over, well then, yeah, that's all there is to it. I'm the bargain boy, and I'm gonna go outside to kick a ball off it. Fuck!